So with the American election happening in the coming days, I'm speaking to social media personality Destiny, otherwise known as Steven Bonnell, his real name, and Gavin Mccines is founder of the Proud Boys, a far-right organisation, designated terrorist group in Canada and New Zealand. So let's get started. We'll talk about Trump and we'll talk about Kamala Harris. So let's start with Trump. Gavin, we'll start with you. So Trump is currently in several court cases of being accused of rape, election interference, and different things.
Rape? Wow.
Isn't he not? And what do you think of all of this, and why are you supporting him?
I just realized I dislike Destiny quite a bit because he represents this sort of cuck culture. But I realize I hate British people even more. You're all retarded. You're the victims of your BBC government-funded propaganda. Rape? He was charged with rape. One thing you have to understand is our justice system is fucking garbage. Our judges are retarded. So when you hear someone has been accused or someone's going to court or someone was sentenced or someone's in jail, it doesn't mean they're guilty. It means they're victims of lawfare. And Trump has been a victim of lawfare since he started running in 2016. In 2015, he was a victim of lawfare.
So the election. So let's talk about the election interference one. So he called up the Georgia governor and asked to find 11,700 votes, if I'm correct.
Yes, he was aware that the election was stolen, and it was. And now just saying that is considered a crime. I mean, you get sued to bankruptcy for pointing out that the election was stolen. He asked the governor to find the votes that had been stolen. And I think Dinesh D'Souza's movie, 2,000 Mules, perfectly summarizes how the election was stolen.
Destiny, I guess. Steven, sorry, do you want to respond?
Yeah, Steven's good. I don't even
You're
know.
not going by Destiny anymore?
No, I'm not a professional gamer anymore. I don't even know where to start. I mean, Trump was convicted in front of a jury. So, I mean, if you don't like the fact that a jury convicts somebody of a crime,
well, that means he's guilty.
By definition,
you know how many of my friends
what do you think guilty
have gone
means?
To jail for bullshit?
Probably none. Honestly, if they're your friends, they probably deserved it. And then this idea that Dinesh, the 2,000 Mules movie, would proved anything. What a joke of a horrible fucking movie. The producers actually delisted it because that movie was such dog shit, and they didn't want civil liability for being sued over it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You get sued.
Yeah, when you tell lies about people, you get sued for it. It's called defamation.
No, you're lying right now. These are lies.
What am I lying?
The election was stolen.
Really?
The election
was
stolen.
Wait, where was the evidence for that? Why have 3 attorneys been disbarred? What?
Our only hope is to be too big to rig. That's our only hope this election, because you're going to rig it again. You people.
How was it rigged in 2020?
He has no answer. There's no answer. There's just a cucked response. They're just mad that their Big Daddy Trump lost.
Are you calling me a cuck?
Yes, you are a cuck for Trump. Yes, you like to sit in the corner.
You let men fuck you in the ass, and you're not even gay.
First of all, even if I did let men fuck me in the ass, that's not cuckoldry. You know what cuckoldry is?
I predicted your divorce to the minute. And you're calling me a cuck?
Yeah,
you're in the dictionary.
A cuck and a rapist. Yeah.
Wait, so let's go back to Trump. So you're saying that. So let's talk about. So he was in court. They did find him guilty. Are you saying that's not, Gavin? Are you saying that's not actually counted to what happens in court?
Okay, this is how retarded both of you are. By the way, you're both on the left. I can tell because you said rape. E. Jean Carroll says that Trump jumped her bones in a changing room. E. Jean Carroll's dog is named Penis. Her cat is named Vagina. She painted all the trees in her yard blue. She is a crazy old cat lady. The dress that she says he ejaculated on wasn't made by DKNY during that time. She refuses to have it DNA tested. That is the level of lunatic that is allowed to go to court and win an $85 million settlement against Trump. That's where our justice system is at when they've decided there's a bad guy. And all of those other charges, he overvalued his real estate. But everyone does that, and the bank does their due diligence. These two, as the Supreme Court called them, sophisticated parties, were well aware of what was going on. They got paid back, but they go to prison. Just like in Britain, where fucking Tommy Robinson goes to jail because his brother-in-law wasn't totally honest about his mortgage loan that he paid back. So both two-tier Keir over in your shithole island and our destroyed country have the same garbage law. the same garbage court system. It's a disgrace.
Okay, so first of all, how does her dog's name got to do with the court case?
What?
You've mentioned what her dog's and cat's name was.
Well, I'm describing the level of lunatic who we take seriously in American courts. She is she said women enjoy rape, by the way. I could talk about E. Jean Carroll for days, but I hope those small examples illustrate how fucking insane she is. She's a lunatic, and she won. And that's how you see Trump as a rapist. Stormy Daniels, he never even fucked Stormy Daniels. He paid her a nuisance fee to get her out of his hair, like all famous people do. In Hollywood, you allot a certain amount of money for the crazy bitches that say you molested them.
Yeah, no, you don't. Grand. No, you don't do that.
Yeah, you do.
No,
see your problem. You know what your problem is, Steve?
No, you don't.
You don't exist.
You don't do that.
You're Chat GPT.
You don't
know people.
You've never I do know people, bro. What are you talking about?
You've never been in a fight.
Gavin, you're a broke fucking loser nobody who is fucking I don't even know where the fuck you live right now. Like,
you don't know people. You don't know the world. So everything you get is from online.
I know plenty of people. AI. I know plenty of people that know you too, Gavin. Valley. I know so much about you from people that I know behind the scenes, Gavin. You're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. Not the life that you have, apparently. I mean, I'm happy to say that.
Yeah, I'm happily married with 3 kids in New York City. No one fucks me in the ass.
Yep.
And you can't predict my divorce like I predicted your divorce.
Yeah. How much does your wife keep up with your personal life, Gavin?
So what?
Wait, how much does your wife keep up with your personal life, Gavin?
My wife is intimately involved in my personal life.
Okay.
No black men fuck my wife.
So talking about Trump,
did I not predict your divorce?
Gavin, Stephen, let's get back to Trump. So let's move on from his court case and talk about this now. Right now, 2024, it's a tiebreaker. Anyone could win. Gavin, why are you supporting Trump?
I mean, look at him. Why wouldn't he? Look at this dude.
Pardon me?
I said, look at this dude. Why wouldn't he? You're fucking insane. You're 2 peas in a pod.
Okay. Great argument. I'm supporting Trump because politics is downstream from culture. And there's a great book by Selena Zito called The Great Revolt. And what she discovered when she was so confused by everyone being against Obama, she assumed it was racism. And she discovered that the problem with Obama was this culture of shame and self-hatred, ethnomasochism, and disgust that the elites have for the average American. And that's what pissed them off about Obama. You know, he had the head of NASA going on tour talking about what Muslims did for mathematics instead of trying to get anything into space. Americans want to be proud again because they should be. And Trump's culture is no more shame, meritocracy, we're the greatest country in the world. He basically wants to make America 1985 again, with jet skis and wet t-shirt contests and wraparound sunglasses. Back when we had a sense of humor and we were fun before political correctness ruined our culture. So I'm for Trump because he's pro-American culture. And that is not Kamala. She is about shame.
Stephen, I'll ask you just to respond to Gavin, and I just want to point out one point that Gavin said. Gavin talked about political correctness. A lot of people on the right and a lot of people around America look at what's happening and they see the Democrat Party, as a party of political correctness that does take away a bit from that's what they do talk about. They see a lot of people do see the Democrat Party as a party of political correctness. What's your thoughts on
that? These are like unserious issues for unserious people. If you spend all day on Twitter and you're obsessing over trans people, being in sports or whatever woke mind virus, whatever bullshit. I don't care about that. I care about the structure of our government. I care about the powers of the president. I care about our foreign policy. I care about our domestic issues. Like, these are the things that matter. And on every single level, Trump has failed in all of these things. So why would I? So I don't know. I'm not going to vote for some guy because he's less woke than the other person. Also, hold on. I got a package. I'm getting 1 second, okay? You can talk, Gavin, though, because nothing you say is valuable anyway.
Being less woke links down to immigration. It links down to inflation. It is linked to foreign policy, all of that stuff. It's all the same.
Okay, sorry. Gavin's mom needed me for a second.
See, another reason that you don't exist in real life is the way you talk. If we were in person, you would be choked out right now.
If we were in person, you'd probably be drunk off your ass and get arrested and thrown in the fucking tank, okay?
I would be arrested for assaulting you.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
That's why you talk the way you talk, because you live online.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
People say that, and then I see them in real life, and they're just these demure little submissive boys. So I don't know. Maybe. Listen, if you see me, you beat the shit out of me, okay? Knock yourself out.
You let men fuck you in the ass. You define submissive.
Do you think about that a lot, Gavin?
No, but you call me a cuck and say I'm submissive? It's insane.
What, you seem obsessed with talking about other men and their sex lives.
You brought it up. You called me a cuck, moron.
You started talking about my shit before, and you literally started the conversation off calling me a cuck.
Yeah. You define culturally the fall of man. And the way you talk to me is proof of that.
Okay.
Anyway, you want to talk about immigration?
Sure.
We need to close the borders. Every country is concerned about immigration. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. If you don't have an electoral process, you don't have a country. And we're doing real bad on both.
Why is it okay that Trump shut down the border bill that was in Congress?
Do you honestly support that border bill, or are you just kidding?
The Republicans supported it until Trump told them not to.
No, Trump told them not to. That doesn't mean they supported it.
They did.
That border bill wanted to process more illegals. I don't want that. You know how many people want to fuck Eva Mendes? Millions. I don't want to facilitate that. Only one guy gets to fuck her, Ryan Gosling. 3/4 of the world wants to come to America. The answer is no. I don't want to process them more. I also don't like that bill because it's got a bunch of fucking bullshit earmarked for Ukraine and all kinds of other bullshit. It's just like their Inflation Reduction Act. It does the opposite of what it says it's going to do. That bill wasn't about closing the borders. It was about facilitating more illegals.
Stephen, why didn't they just do one single bill about immigration?
They did. They tried it. He's just lying. The Republicans just lie like they breathe. They did try to do one single bill. The Republicans still rejected it.
That's actually, ironically, a lie.
Okay.
So you're talking about lying as you lie. They have never proposed anything rational about immigration. It's a very simple concept. It's called closing the borders. You want to get rid of who's here? It's called attrition. You fine employers for hiring illegals, and they all go back with their tails between their legs, like they regularly do when the economy is bad. So the solution to America's plight is largely closed borders. And that, by the way, goes back to what I was saying about cultural. If you're culturally against illegal immigration, that's the first step to having strong borders.
Cool. The U.S. Senate failed Thursday to advance a border security bill as both parties seek to hone their message on immigration policy in the run-up into November's elections. The Senate bill failed to advance on a 43-50 procedural vote. The chamber already rejected the measure as part of a broader foreign aid package earlier this year. When they tried it initially as part of a broader package, it failed. When they tried it on its own, it failed. So you fucking lied, okay?
No, tried it on its own is not on its own. That is a lie. It was not a cohesive, structured bill that was going to.
That's great.
Stop
now you're
immigration.
changing. Yeah, now you're changing the argument. The reality is, if they didn't like it, they could have debated.
You said they tried it with just immigration and it didn't go through.
They tried it with just the border bill. Yes.
No, it wasn't
not
just
part of
the border bill.
Not part of Ukraine aid or anything.
More border crossings when the guys in charge weren't even judges. They were just random fucking customs officials who were going to stamp your passport and say you're in.
That's not how any of that works. That's literally not how any of that works. None of that works. Nothing you're saying is true. Literally nothing. Nothing you're saying is true.
They're not judges.
So at the end of the day, why did Trump have much less border encounters than Biden?
Yeah, I wonder.
Well, I mean, for one, he had COVID. He had Title 42. He could literally shut down and reject people for asylum seeking using Title 42 because of.
No, it was way before COVID border crossings were down.
They weren't down that much from Obama. What do you mean? Look at the immigration stats.
12 million people crossed the border under Biden. That's as many as Ellis Island in its entirety. Its entire 85 years. We've had 12 million fucking illegals. And
they're not illegals. Also, they're people that are seeking asylum. That's not an illegal immigrant, but.
The quality of immigrants we're getting these days is alarmingly bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not destitute families looking for a job.
Well, if we would have allocated more money to the border for asylum judges to make rulings on that, we'd be able to do border faster.
They weren't judges. They weren't judges.
Some of the funding was allowing for judges. Yes, some of the funding went towards judges.
I'm not allotting more money. Three-quarters
then
of the
don't
world
allot more
wants
money.
to
Then
fund
have
you,
the system be backed up and have all the people in here on waiting for their court date, and then sit here and bitch about it and do fucking nothing.
That's what I
This is
mean
all
about how you
Republicans
haven't
do.
lived.
All conservatives do is they cry all day about everything and they don't fix fucking anything. They've got no solutions. They just suggest pie in the sky shit that they know will never fucking pass. Like, oh, deport 20 million people, and that's it. So that way they can just cry. You're permanent victims.
The border was fixed.
You are a permanent
COVID.
victim, and you like it. You like being a victim because at the end of the day, you're the one that's dreaming about getting fucked in the ass. Okay, that's what you're obsessing with. You like to be a victim. You don't want to solve any problems. You want to sit there on your knees and you want to cry. You want to cry about it and not do anything about it. That's all you want to do. You are. You're crying. You're right now. The immigrants are. The immigrants are. You're crying like a little bitch.
No, that's not. You're mistaking anger for sadness. I'm not crying liberal tears. I'm having
you're crying
a
conservative
right-wing
tears.
rage attack
They're a lot more
at you
delicious.
And other people who don't recognize the border problem.
Academic rights did. They try to pass a bill. You guys don't even think there's a border problem. That's why you're like, fuck it.
You're
like, let's keep. Then why not? Then why not debate it? Then why not debate it in the Senate? Why not reform it? Why not do something different with it?
Because it was irrevocably bad. It was not a strong border bill.
It was a Republican bill. It was authored by Langford in the Senate. He's a Republican. The Republicans supported the exact same bill years earlier.
That are the opposite of what they purport to be. It's a scam, and people like you fall for it because you don't go outside. So you're a victim of propaganda because you just live on the internet. So we can chat GPT you into a fictional person. You're an AI bot.
So, Gavin, what would the Republican Party do with the border? What particular things would the Republican Party do to solve the border crisis?
Build a wall, an actual wall that goes from that covers the entire southern border. Punish those who hire illegals. Let the border guards do their fucking job. Like the last time that they arrested someone, they had the strap that's used to guide a horse correctly. That the administration, because they never been down there, they've never been to West Texas. They just assume it's a whip, and they're whipping illegals. That's where the culture crosses over into politics and actual policy, where they go, these poor illegals are getting whipped. No, we're just trying to enforce the border. If law enforcement was allowed to do its job, we could have this problem solved in one term. Again, 12 million people under Biden. What a fucking catastrophe. Totally unprecedented.
So what exactly, sorry, maybe I missaid, but what exactly will the Republican Party do?
I just said they will punish those who hire illegals. That is an attrition tactic to get them to go home on their own accord.
Isn't it already illegal to hire? It's already illegal to hire illegals. What, you're going to make an illegal thing even more illegal? Like,
okay, how are illegals working then? If it's so
because
illegal?
people, how do thieves steal from stores, Gavin? They break the fucking law. What do you mean?
Yeah, and we don't punish shoplifters for stealing. That's why you have to put plexiglass around your fucking deodorant, and that's why Walgreens and CVS are going bankrupt. We're not allowing law enforcement to do its job. We have laws on the books to prevent illegal aliens. They are being prevented from enforcing these laws. That's the problem with all your gay bills, too. We already have great laws. They're just not enforced because they're hamstrung. Fucking Biden sued Texas for putting up a barrier. He sued Arizona for enforcing immigration laws. The government sues the states for enforcing their own fucking laws.
Yeah, because the federal government is what exclusively enforces immigration. It's not up to the states to do it.
No, states put up boundaries. They put up razor wire, and they get sued by the government for doing so.
Okay, so let's move. So, Stephen, I want to ask you about Trump. So many people, probably including Gavin, see Trump as a tough guy, maybe even a bully, but a tough guy who will get other people in other countries to listen to him. They see that there's a change from Biden, who many saw as very senile and old. So they see it from Biden to Trump, and they want to push their image on the world stage as tough and strong. What do you say to people like that? Can you see why people like Trump because of that?
I mean, Trump is like he's a weak man's version of a strong man, a guy that walks around and he screams all the time, and people think that like, wow, this is a strong dude that gets shit done. He doesn't. He's a fucking joke. Everybody knows he's a fucking joke. That's why when Kamala said his rallies were small, he lost his fucking mind. He needed to bring the answer up twice when he was trying to respond to her question. Like, no, Trump didn't get shit done. Nobody respects him around the world. Like, you see world leaders like literally laughing at him when he's making speeches at the UN. You see them laughing at him in groups where they're talking about him. He's a fucking loser, and everybody knows that he's a fucking loser. So I don't know what you want me to say. Like, what did Trump do? What did he get done anywhere internationally? Nobody respected him. Putin didn't respect him. The war continued on in Ukraine. Nobody in the Middle East respected him. Iran attacked Saudi Arabia. Obviously, our allies, Turkey, didn't respect us when they killed all the Kurdish people that we abandoned. The Kurdish people obviously don't respect us. The Afghanistan people don't respect us. We fucking surrendered to the Taliban. North Korea doesn't respect us. They continue to test their nuclear missiles after we, went in and Trump saluted their military like a fucking retard. I mean, like, what do you want? Who respects Donald Trump besides the sycophantic losers in the United States that think he's like such a strong guy because he says retarded shit on a microphone like that?
Can I answer now? Putin was scared of him. I don't care if anyone respects him. I want them to be scared of him. We had no wars during Trump. Kim Jong-un respected him. He was scared of him. He intimidates people. And yes, he does go off at a tangent when you accuse no one going to his rallies, because people do go to his rallies. But it's like calling Mike Tyson a pussy. Like, he's going to overreact and slap you. By the way, I have no respect for international leaders. That's such a queer thing to say, where you respect fucking Merkel or Macron or any of these European dolts. Fuck them. Fuck the Middle East. I don't want anything to do with them. I want them to be scared of America, too scared to attack, so they don't get into wars. And that's what we had. We had unprecedented economic surpluses during Trump's presidency. Immigration was down, inflation was down, unemployment was down, and all Destiny could do is say, well, that was because of COVID. Okay, keep making excuses for why Trump's presidency was such a success and Biden's was such an absolute fucking failure, but the facts remain that we were better under Trump.
Yeah, when Trump left office, the country was like destitute. What do you mean? COVID was ravaging us. The lockdowns were happening in every state. The BLM riots had raged on. I don't.
That was you. That was you guys.
That's great. Trump was president. That's great. Trump was president. That's great. That Trump was president. Trump was president. Trump was president. Who was the president again? Who? Eli, do you know who the president was?
Trump's responsible for your guys rioting?
Oh, okay. So, and Biden's responsible for COVID?
No, Biden is responsible for his retarded border czar who opened the borders to 12 million people. Okay. He's responsible for that. He's responsible for unprecedented gas prices. He's responsible for inflation, for destroying the economy. Look at the people you support. Look at Joe Biden. Look at Kamala Harris. Like, I understand you hating Trump because you're weak and you have daddy issues, but how can you then support Kamala Harris? That part I don't get.
What do you mean? It's a choice between two candidates, and Kamala is like clearly more qualified, clearly less retarded.
How is she more qualified?
One, because she knows the three branches of government, at least. Okay. Number two, because she probably respects the institutions of government. She's won multiple and held multiple elected offices.
Like the running for president. Did she win that?
No, she was the district attorney in San Francisco, and she was the attorney general in California twice.
Anyone, my friend, that's all a lie.
You know that those are elected offices,
right? Reward for anyone who can cite any of her cases. She never argued anything in court.
What is arguing anything? What does that have to do with being the district attorney or the attorney general?
She sucked her way to the top. And
to every single person that voted for her? What is this argument?
That got her in the door. That started the ball rolling. And since then, she's done nothing. Mm-hmm. It's all nepotism.
Yeah. I mean,
not like Trump though, who literally had his daddy's money and his
listen, similar to this, but not exactly this. But Biden chose Kamala Harris as his vice president nominee in 2016. In 2020. He said when he was running that he would only choose a woman. Isn't that like singling out and saying, "Listen, I'm not going to choose any men," and he's limiting his choices? And Steven, tell me what do you think?
Elections are a popularity contest. You pick the people that you think are going to get elected.
But he didn't say that. He didn't say I'm going to choose. We want to say that Kamala is going to choose a woman.
Probably because he thought a woman would help his chance of getting elected the most. Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but a little over half the people in this country are women. And people care about things like representation. That's why you're sewing the fuck out over immigration, because you're scared of people that look different than you coming into the country. Like having people like Kamala probably chose Walz because he's white, because he's a white guy, right? I mean, like you want to shore up differences. Donald Trump probably chose Pence initially because he was an evangelical dude. You choose people to shore up differences to broaden your support in the electorate. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, there's everything wrong with that. It's called the death of meritocracy. If she was a white male, you never would have heard her name.
If we're talking meritocracy, it's incredibly crazy to me that the liberals, DEI, picked somebody who's more qualified to be president than Donald Trump. That's insane to me. Donald Trump has no qualifications in government. He was a failure of a fucking president. He's a failure of a fucking businessman. He's a failure of a fucking, like his character is a failure.
You couldn't run a lemonade stand in New York City. This guy was collecting rent in the Bronx in the 80s, telling poor people they had to pay up. That is a fucking feat in and of itself.
It's not, though, because Section 8 housing is like one of the most it's like bragging about collecting money from fucking Medicare, bro. It's government money. Good for you. He's literally filing bankruptcies on casinos. How the fuck do you go bankrupt in a casino?
You've never run a business. You don't know what it's like, which is why I keep saying you don't exist. You talk about all these things
Gavin,
from an outsider's
what are you talking about? I probably have more employees than you. I make more money than you. I'm more successful than you. What are you talking about? By every metric, by every measurable metric, Gavin, I've outdone you. At 35, I've already destroyed your entire career, Gavin. You're nothing. You're fading away like a dinosaur. As you run from the Proud Boys, as you run from your dying career, as you piss in cups while you're on studio, you can't even get your fucking microphone working today, and you're making fun of this guy for showing up 2 minutes before the debate. Unbelievable.
Yeah. You're a failure, and you don't know what business is.
Oh,
you never run a business.
I literally run a business. You probably never even filed your own fucking taxes before.
Run a business
My God.
in America. So you don't understand Trump's accomplishments. The less people accomplish, the more they trivialize other people's accomplishments.
Okay, so sticking to policy. So let's go and talk about January 6th. Because, I remember that. It was, I think most people remember what happened on January 6th. Gavin, what's your thought on that? Because a lot of voters look at Trump versus Kamala, and they have some thoughts, but they see what happened on January 6th, and that turns them off from Trump. What's your thoughts on that?
I call January 6th the meandering. It was an unfortunate moment of vandalism that was inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Yet the left and the media have blown it up to literally be as big as Pearl Harbor and 9/11 combined. Guys are doing decades in prison. Enrique Tarrio's doing 22 years. He wasn't even fucking there. There was a couple of assholes that broke some windows, and the rest just meandered in. 2 people died that day, both patriots. No fucking cops died that day. That's all a lie. Nancy Pelosi exacerbated the situation. She encouraged it. The Capitol Police, who aren't police, they're security guards, they exacerbated the situation by throwing flash bombs in there and encouraging people to come inside. It was a dumb mistake that the right did once. The left burned down this country for 2 years. No arrests, no problems. At least a dozen people killed during those riots. And it's fiery, but mostly peaceful. So the fact that they are able to make January 6th into such a huge deal is proof that the media is in bed with the DNC, and they are all Marxist propagandists.
Do you think it was a big deal that on the day of when they were certifying the election, there was a riot in the Capitol?
Nobody knew that they were delaying the certification. It was a spontaneous riot that was the result of a lot of anger that was built up from shitty media reporting, that was built up from fucking the stolen election, and that was built up from watching the left riot for 2 years. They'd had enough, and they snapped. It was very
Why were all the people at the Capitol?
What?
Why were the people there?
They were there to support Trump.
Oh, so it wasn't spontaneous. All of them showed up because Trump showed
up. The rioting was
Trump
spontaneous.
told them to come there.
The
Trump told them to come there. He said it was going to be a historic event. What was the historic event? Just watching Trump give a speech?
A big rally. A million-man march.
A million-man march. Marching to where?
To D.C. Just show up in D.C.
That's it? No, they're not marching anywhere? He didn't say we're going to go walk down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. He didn't say that?
Did he say go to the Capitol?
Yes, he did, you fucking retard.
Well, he said then he said, be peaceful.
No, he said, I know you'll be peaceful. He said that 20 minutes into an hour-long speech where he's rambling the whole time about election fraud and how you have to fight like hell or you're going to lose your country. True. So it was a fucking coincidence that everybody just happened to march out of the Capitol and a giant fucking riot happened after Trump? That was just a coincidence? It's spontaneous?
Pinning that riot on him is so fucking stupid. The fact that he is facing jail time for facilitating a riot that the left facilitated. Your guys exacerbated that situation and made those poor bastards snap. And you have so much resentment for those people, those average Americans.
Spontaneous riot. It was your Proud Boys that broke in first, too. That's the funniest part, right? You know that, right? You know that your Proud Boys were the first people into the Capitol, right? The first people to break down the barriers and the first people to break into the building, right?
No, we're still figuring out who were the first people.
No, we're not.
And my understanding is the first people who went in have not been arrested. So it's very curious.
Oh, really?
Who were the actual people facilitating that?
That's crazy. I thought Dominic Pizzola was the first guy in. I thought we have like 50 million fucking videos of it. We watched him break the window down with a fucking riot shield. He got arrested for it. He was convicted. What do you mean? We don't know who
Did you watch Antifa get Ashley Babbitt shot? Did you see that?
No, I watched a bunch of Trumples get Ashley Babbitt shot while the fucking retard was trying to climb through a window to go attack congressmen. I saw that, yeah.
That was John Earl.
That was kind of your fault, Gavin. It's kind of your fault. Kind of your fault.
Guy.
People like you are the reason why she died. Yes, I'm sure you feel great about it too.
I told them it was a trap. I predicted the trap, and
I'm sure
Antifa
you did.
got Ashley Babbitt shot. His name is John Sullivan. He went to jail for it finally because CNN was unable, after paying him $20,000 for the footage, to convince the justice system that he was an actual journalist because he isn't, and now he's in jail. Antifa is in jail for January 6th. John Sullivan is his name.
Okay.
Look him up, John Earl Sullivan.
Is in jail for what?
Go, push. He's pushing Ashley Babbitt to go through the window. Then she gets shot by an affirmative action cop, totally unqualified dude, constantly leaving his gun in the bathroom. The guy's a nincompoop.
What are we doing?
And he's portrayed as someone who
actually like delusional
day.
Shit. I don't know if it's intentional, if you're actually fucking insane.
Which part is inaccurate that I just said?
Every single thing you said was irrelevant. The fact is that Ashley Babbitt was part of a group of people that were breaking down a fucking window with guys on the other end that were pointing guns saying, stay the fuck back. And she climbed through like a retard and she got shot like a retard. And then she died with a bunch of sweaty, type 2 diabetic, dipshit Trumples taking pictures of her fucking body and she's bleeding out of her fucking neck.
You hate
because
America.
of people like you. Because of people like you. You hate America. You hate this country so much. You have so much resentment for it. You hate it. You hate America. That's why you love Trump. You want to live under an authoritarian dictator.
Your whole politics are based on spite.
Well, okay. So Stephen, do you want to just talk about why you're voting for Kamala? Gavin will respond, and I think that's probably close near there. Why you prefer Kamala over Trump? Yeah.
She's not a fucking insane authoritarian fucking dictator. I mean, what do you mean? That's the easiest choice in the world. I would vote for Nikki Haley over Trump without even a second thought. I would vote for fucking DeSantis over Trump. I mean, Biden was a successful leader, way more successful than most people would have thought. He got a lot of legislation passed. The United States is outperforming every other G7 OECD country when it comes to metrics like inflation. Our real wages are up compared to where they were under Trump. I think we're doing pretty good right now. I would want to see a continuation of that.
Yeah, Gavin, can you respond to those statistics, like highest performing G7? And
garbage. Like he says, unemployment is great. There's all these people out of the workforce that have just given up because our economy is so shit. We don't have manufacturing. We have illegals doing all the jobs teenagers should be doing. We are destitute, and our only hope is to stem the bleeding. Like we're still gonna. My analogy would be like if you're bleeding to death, your leg's gone, it's toast. But I want to put some sort of stop to the bleeding. What do you call a tourniquet on the leg? And we'll lose the leg. We'll just have crutches for 4 years. But with Kamala, with these open borders, we're just going to keep bleeding. And the secret is culture first. A culture of pride, a lack of shame, a lack of political correctness. Getting back to meritocracy is the key to saving America. You let the best man win. And that's what we should see on Tuesday. Yeah. But with this record of law breaking and stealing elections, I'm not very confident we got it. It has to be too big to rig.
Meritocracy, while we talk about super closed borders, while we talk about tariffing the rest of the world, the most protectionist economy you've ever talked about. So meritorious. Wow.
Yeah. Well, China's cheating. China, it doesn't have. If you're a worker in China, you're working 80 hours a week. That's cheating. That's not fair competition. They don't see their fucking kids. Their kids are with their grandparents. They see them at Chinese New Year for a month, and then they don't see their children for the rest of the year. I don't want that to become America. I don't want that level.
Oh, so working 80 hours a week. So you don't want meritocracy. You want government protections for workers. I thought the person that works
slavery.
Oh, the person who works 80 hours a week, that's not meritorious?
Not
the guy wants to work 2 jobs, he's not doing better on merit there?
Oh, okay. This is the merit. The merit happens within America.
Oh,
we're not turning the rest of the
So no more exports. We're not going to ship our products anywhere or buy our products from anybody. Just only in America.
Yeah, we're going to ship our products. Our products are made ethically. We don't use slave labor like the rest of the fucking world. I don't want that to come over here. I don't want to dilute our culture to the shittiest possible version of what human beings can do. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll just finish off. I just want to ask one question to each of you. Stephen, let's start with Stephen. If Trump wins, will you accept the election this week?
I don't know if we should. No, I mean, liberals probably will. We just, unfortunately, we Gavin is right a little bit. We are kind of pussies. I don't think we have it in us to basically try to coup the fucking government like Trump did. So probably just accept it, go on and try to win the next election.
Coup. They were trying to take over the government by 2 p.m. with no weapons.
Did they delay the certification of the vote?
Did they know they were delaying the certification of the vote?
Yes. You dipshit. What do you think they were there to protest?
Wrong.
Yeah, they did.
Do you know how many times the left has drastically delayed government proceedings?
Oh, when was the last time the left delayed the certification of the vote? When was the last time they delayed the certification of the vote?
Do you remember when they attacked the Supreme Court under Kavanaugh? Remember when the Black Panthers? You probably thought it was cool when the Black Panthers stormed the Capitol and they were armed. That looked cool, though. Yep. That was a good photo op.
True.
They delayed the certification. Fuck off. They lost their temper.
Yeah, reality sucks, doesn't it, right?
You. Yeah.
So Gavin, so I'm going to ask you the same question as Stephen. If Kamala Harris wins the election this week, will you and the right accept it?
But that's a loaded bullshit question.
That's the same to Stephen.
If they win a gold medal in the Olympics, will you accept that Russia won the swimming medal? Yes, I will, if they are tested for doping and they did it fair and square. Of course I would accept fair election results, but I want an investigation if Kamala wins because it doesn't make any sense.
Unreal.
He's destroying in the polls. And more importantly, I travel this country. I talk to people. I see the lawn signs. I leave my house and I see a country that is head over heels excited about Trump winning. You don't see Kamala lawn signs if you ever go outside, Steve.
The polls are pretty, in terms of polls, they're pretty same. Trump and Kamala are basically the same in polls.
Not the ones that he believes in.
Yeah, that's not the case. The case is that he is absolutely crushing her. And that will be the case on the election if everything is fair. And if that happens, then I'll accept it. If they cheat, I won't, obviously. You have to check for doping before you accept a gold medal.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Gavin and Stephen. That was an interesting conversation.